Doors. We use doors all the time. They protect us from going into our house, going to our rooms, going to buildings. Doors are everywhere. And in fact, a lot of times we use doors so often that we don't even keep track of how many doors there are. Let me ask you a question. How many doors do you think there are in Energize? Just right now, just this one room. Not all of Hope, but just Energize. Do you have a number? Why don't you drop it right down there in the comments, see if you can tell me. Did you guess 10? Well, if you did, you'd be right. That's right. There are 10 doors in Energize and the Launchpad. I just counted. We use doors all the time. You have them in your house, you have them in the bedroom. And when we use doors, sometimes we use them we have the doors wide open saying, hey, come in, you can come talk to me, you can come be a part of what I'm doing in my room. But other times, especially when we're angry, we will go into a room and we'll close it. Have you ever been so angry at your brother or sister and so mad that you just go in your room and you may even slam that door, you close it really hard? Now you're even more trouble because you slammed the door, but you're trying to make a point. You're saying, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Doors protect us. Doors keep us safe. And sometimes doors are open and sometimes doors are closed. That's why we need to understand that every door has two sides. Doors can be used in two different ways. We can use them to let people in, or we can use them to keep people out. The same is true for countries all over the world. There are some countries that absolutely love Christians to come into their countries. A lot of them are in South America, like Brazil and Peru and Mexico and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a province, but they have Haiti. All of these places and a lot of places in Africa, like Zimbabwe and South Africa and the Congo, they like Christians to come in, and their Christianity spreads a lot. But there's other countries where Christians can't go in. You can't go in and tell anyone about Jesus. Countries like Saudi Arabia or Iran or even Russia and China. You can't go into those places. In fact, I know people that I went to high school with, people that I went to church with that are actually missionaries in those countries, and they actually can't tell anyone that they're missionaries in those countries. They are there to tell other people about Jesus, and they have to lie to the government and say, we're just here to teach English, or we're here to do other things. See, what happens is when those countries, those doors are closed. People try to close doors to keep Jesus out and to keep the things that they don't want out. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. But when we're talking about Jesus, they try to close the doors on us. Back in 1976, a man came in charge of China. His name was Mao. And Mao decided that Christianity and Jesus was absolutely evil. That he made it illegal. He made it against the law to believe in Jesus. And so what he got his government to do and his soldiers to do and all the police to do is they went into people's homes, and if you claimed to follow Jesus, they threw you in jail. And they took your house, and they took the church, and they took all of the things that you owned. Anything that said anything about Jesus or God or the Bible, it was completely and totally taken away and destroyed. So you would think in a place like this that there would actually be no Christians ever in that place. Some believe that at that time in 1976 there were 750,000 Christians in China. But let me tell you about a miracle that has happened, is that even though Mao closed that country of China, and it's still closed today, Jesus and the Christianity is stronger than it's ever been. People still go to church, they just do it in secret. People still want Bibles, they just hide them. People are still coming to Jesus, they just can't really tell anyone about it. And the Christian church has grown to where some believe it's in the billion of how many people actually, or multiple millions of how many people are now Christians inside the church, inside China, where there's not supposed to be any Christianity. You see, closed doors never stop Jesus. There are some places that say, you can't tell us about Jesus. We don't want to know about Jesus. But Jesus always finds a way in, because Jesus is the definition of hope. Jesus is the one who brings us salvation. Jesus is the one who brings us joy. And no matter how bad life can be, Jesus can work his way through that door. He can open it and he can step through and he can bring changes to life everywhere. I know at home right now, you're stuck at home. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to camp. You can't, places are canceling vacation Bible schools. You're not able to go on vacation. You're not able to do all these different things. You're just kind of stuck at home. And it's easy to think about that this one, your home, your four walls of your house is all you have. But there's a whole big world out there. And those people need Jesus. And you can make a difference. That's why on the first Sunday of every month, we have done BGMC Sunday, Boys and Girls Missionary Challenge. We collect money and we take that money and give it to missionaries all over the world. Some where they can proclaim the name of Jesus loud and proud and have thousands of people stand in front of them as they tell people about Jesus. And other places where it's just one person at a time in secret so no one finds out about it. Both are important. And you know what? God may be calling you to go be a missionary. Instead of telling everyone about Jesus here, he may be saying, hey, I want you to go to another place. I want you to go to a place that you don't know the language, you don't know the people, but I want you to go tell them about what my son did for them, about what Jesus has done for them. I have friends of mine that have taken that step and their lives have been incredibly impacted because of that. And every time you give money to BGMC or another missions organization, you help those people tell more and more people about Jesus. Next week, we're going to be back and we're going to tell another incredible story about how a kid actually started praying for a country and had Jesus opened that door. We'll see you right back here next week.